Hey guys, this is Deep. Welcome to Saga. Today we are checking out some amazing budget-friendly fragrances that tries to mimic the Terre D'Hermès perfume, all under the budget of 2000 rupees only. Now we're gonna start from around 350 and then we will reach up to around 2000 rupees. So stay tuned, let's see which perfume is worth the money for you. A quick disclaimer before I get started with the video. I have decided to keep the channel paid content free and without any paid partnership so that I can keep my contents real and genuine for you. But in order for me to do that, all I require from you is one small help. If you really like what I'm doing or the contents are something that is valuable to you, please do hit the subscribe button. And if you like the content or like the video, please do hit the like button. That will ensure my videos reach out to a larger audience. With that out of the way, this is Deep, watching Saga, and I'll not waste any more time and get started with the video right now. The first perfume that I have on my list is Gulmarg Mist from the house of Wow Science. Basically, this is a 20 milliliter bottle, by the way. Now the note breakdown of Gulmarg Mist are as follows. Similar to Terre D'Hermès, the opening has got the notes of orange and grapefruit. They have kept the opening almost similar to that of Terre D'Hermès. There is one thing missing, which is depth. A bit depth is missing in this one. Obviously, Terre D'Hermès is a designer fragrance. This is a budget fragrance, so there will be some differences in the depth. But note-wise, the top note has got the notes of orange and grapefruit, similar to Terre D'Hermès. At the base, this has got the pepper, the spicy note of pepper. It's not super spicy, but there's a hint of pepper in it, similar to that of Terre D'Hermès. But Terre D'Hermès also has a note of Flint, which is missing in this one. The base note of Gulmarg Mist has got Vetiver, cedarwood, patchouli, but it misses out on benzoin, which is present in Terre D'Hermès. Now, what benzoin does is adds a bit of vanillic sweetness to the mix, slight, but it adds to it. But this one, on the other hand, has this floral undertone somewhere in the base, which makes it a bit different from Terre D'Hermès. I think this is around 75% clone of Terre D'Hermès, but if you apply it, you will understand this is an inspired version of Terre D'Hermès. Wow Science Gulmarg Mist sells for around 350 rupees for a 30 milliliter bottle, and for a 100 milliliter bottle it sells for around 750 rupees. Now, what about the longevity of Gulmarg Mist? Well, to be honest with you, the projection and longevity of Gulmarg Mist is not that great in my opinion. It lasts max for around 3 to 4 hours. After that, you won't be able to detect it. Every 3 to 4 hours, you need to reapply it. That is one of the caveats of Gulmarg Mist. Projection wise, it projects moderately, I would say, for 30 minutes or so, and then it becomes a skin scent, and it's not something that anybody around you will be able to notice until and unless they come in close proximity to you after the 30 minutes of mark, because this is not a beast mode projecting perfume, rather this is more of a subtle perfume, good for office environment, I would suggest, but you do need to know that this needs to be applied quite frequently. Now let me move on to the next one out of the list, which is a bit cheaper than the previous one, which is Gulmarg Mist, but is equally good in terms of replicating the smell of Terre D'Hermès, which is Wildstone Code Terra. Now the Wildstone Code Terra is available for 650 rupees for this 100 milliliter bottle. Decent presentation, I would say, tries to mimic the bottle of Terre D'Hermès as well. In terms of the notes, well, this has got the same opening of grapefruit and orange at the top, similar to Terre D'Hermès. At the middle, it has got pepper and Flint, which is again similar to Terre D'Hermès. But at the base, it adds a little bit of difference by adding musk instead of benzoin, and everything remains the same, which is cedarwood, patchouli, and vetiver. And instead of benzoin, they have added musk for a bit more richer base, I would say. And regarding the smell, I would say this is the closest out of the lot to the Terre D'Hermès. Now let's talk about the longevity and projection of Code Terra. Code Terra is not a beast mode projecting perfume. This is almost soft or moderately projecting perfume. It projects moderately for around 45 minutes and then it kind of becomes a skin scent. In terms of longevity, if you're in an AC environment, it would last you around 4 to 5 hours and then you won't be able to detect the perfume. So every 4 to 5 hours you need to top this up. If you're doing so, then it's a good choice for around 650 rupees for 100 milliliter, and this comes cheaper than the previous one, which is Gulmarg Mist, for around 650 rupees. This is good. I mean, I would say okay compared to the next three perfumes that I'm going to talk about. This is fine. It's not bad, but I had more expectation from the lineup. This is again great for the office environment because it doesn't project loud. It stays very, close to yourself. Anybody coming in the close proximity will be only able to recognize the smell. And this is a decent clone of Terre D'Hermès in terms of the smell structure. Now let me move on to the third perfume that I have on my list. This is Arabian Aromas inspired version of Terre D'Hermès. This sells for around 700 rupees for a 50 milliliter bottle, and the bottle is kind of very minimalistic. By the way, the atomizer of all the previous perfumes that I discussed as well as this one is good. I mean, it's okayish, it's good. There is nothing to complain about the atomizers. They spray properly. So let me break down the notes for this one. At the opening, it has got the similar notes to Terre D'Hermès, which is orange and grapefruit. At the middle, they have done they have changed it a bit slightly by adding geranium into the mix along with Flint and pepper. So there is a floral undertone at the base, which makes it a bit more different, but in a proper way or in a good way. And at the base, this has got the exact similar notes to that of Terre D'Hermès, which is Vetiver, Cedar, Patchouli and benzoin. So at the base, it's almost, the dry down is almost similar to that of Terre D'Hermès. Now, in terms of longevity and projection, this is way better than the previous two that I talked about, which is Gulmarg Mist and Wildstone Terra. This outperforms them by quite a big margin, in my opinion. This stays around 6 to 7 hours easily. If you apply it on the clothes, it stays around 6 to 7 hours properly. You will get to notice it if you are, crossing by. In terms of the projection, it projects properly for around 1 to 1.5 hours. And the first half, it's quite loud in projection, maybe for 1 hour. Then then it kind of settles down and the projection gradually comes down maybe after 1.5 hours. It creates a good sillage also, by the way. I won't say this is a beast mode projecting perfume, but I would say it's more than average. It's more than moderate, but a bit lesser than beast mode, because the beast mode projecting perfume I have at the last. Okay. So this one is a good projecting perfume, a good lasting perfume as well. This is a parfum concentration, which basically means it has got more perfume oil than the previous two. For 700 rupees for a 50 milliliter, I think Arabian Aromas inspired version of Terre D'Hermès is a really good choice, because I have applied it and I have compared it with all the perfumes that I'm going to discuss, and this kind of stood out. And if you're looking for something in the budget of 700 rupees, 50 milliliter is good enough, and you can go for Arabian Aromas inspired version of Terre D'Hermès. And now let me move on to my fourth perfume on the list, which is this one. This is kind of a decant that I got online. I don't have the full bottle because I wanted to test out the perfume before I buy a full bottle. So this is Maison Alhambra Toro. Now, if you want me to make a video about where I buy decants from, what is my experience in purchasing the decants, do hit me up in the comment section and I will make a video right away about it. Now let me move on to this one. So Maison Alhambra Toro is another fragrance which is a great alternative to Terre D'Hermès in terms of the smell profile, because it almost is 90% close to the Terre D'Hermès lineup. This is by far one of the closest in terms of the smell profile of Terre D'Hermès. Let me break down the notes for you. At the top, it has got the similar notes of orange and grapefruit. At the middle, it has got the notes of pepper, but instead of Flint, they have used geranium, which is a floral note, but somehow it's so minute that it does not really shine much, but adds a subtle depth. So that is where this is a bit different from Terre D'Hermès, but it's something which is a bit, if you are very closely smelling it, then and only then you will be able to notice it, or else you won't be able. And at the base, it has got exactly the similar base that have Terre D'Hermès, which is benzoin, cedarwood, patchouli and vetiver. One thing that I do need to let you know is the pricing of Toro. This sells for around 1400 rupees for a 100 milliliter bottle. Now in that pricing, I think if you're looking for something awesome, you can go for this one. This is available for around 1400. The previous perfume, which is Arabian Aromas Terre D'Hermès inspired version, that is available for 700 rupees for a 50 milliliter. So if you compare it, both are available for 1400 for a 100 milliliter. There might be a confusion as to which one you should go for. I will try and make sure that I reduce your confusion as much as possible at the end of the video. For now, let's talk about the longevity of Toro. Now, Toro is a decent projecting perfume. It projects as good as Arabian Aromas Terre D'Hermès tone or inspired version. This projects properly for around 1 to 1.5 hours. Again, not a beast mode one, but a good one. In terms of longevity, this also stays for around 6 to 7 hours if you're applying it on the clothes. However, I feel that this is a more versatile option. I don't know why, but the depth of this perfume is a bit different to the rest, and somehow I think if you're applying something in the evening in terms of the Terre D'Hermès clone, I think this one is really good. The last one that I'm going to talk about is awesome for the day, but for the evening, if you're looking for a Terre D'Hermès clone which suits well in the evening weather, I think Toro is a great option. And a close second will be Terre D'Hermès inspired version from Arabian Aroma. The last one that I have on my list, which is kind of, I think you know it already, which is Fatan. Fatan is an awesome inspired version of Terre D'Hermès with its own twists. This is available for around 14 to 1500 for a 50 milliliter bottle, making it the most expensive perfume in today's list. There's a sale going on in Uvora now. You can get it at around 1200 or 1300, I think, because of the Diwali sale, if you're watching it prior to the Diwali. So if anybody is interested in grabbing Fatan, I think now is the time. Now, in terms of the top note, this is more citrusy than Terre D'Hermès in terms of the opening, because I feel Terre D'Hermès is more heavy in the vetiver, while Fatan is more heavy on the citruses and the green herbal note. That is the only difference from Terre D'Hermès. However, it's not bad. It's kind of refreshing if you're applying it on a hot summer day. But this is again an all-weather perfume. This is not something that only applies to a summer day. You can pull it off in a winter, you can pull it off in a spring, summer, doesn't really matter. This is, all the perfumes that I've talked are kind of all-weather perfume, but somehow this outshines them during the daytime if you're applying it on a hot summer day. At the top, it has got the note of bergamot. It's bergamot heavy, and the pink pepper, which is there at the mid note of Terre D'Hermès. I think they have added it to the top, making the entry or the opening more spicier and more bright compared to Terre D'Hermès in case of Fatan. At the base, again, this has added a bit more complexity by adding Lily of Valley, and then the vetiver is already present at the mid note of Fatan. And it has got Patchouli in the mid note as well. Compared to Terre D'Hermès, where the Patchouli and the vetiver is at the base note, at the mid note they have added Patchouli as well as vetiver, making it kind of mix the citruses with the vetiver just at the dry down. When the dry down starts, instantly you will feel the rush of vetiver mixed with patchouli along with the citruses. At the base, they have added Oakmoss, benzoin and amber, making the base a bit different from Terre D'Hermès, but in a good way, obviously, because Fatan, I think, is one of the very versatile perfumes out there for its budget. Now, that being said, I would like to kind of run through with the performance of Fatan. The opening of Fatan is kind of beast mode. The projection for the 1.5 hours that it projects is really stronger than the rest that I have talked about. Anybody around you will be able to get the presence of Fatan right away, and I think if you're in the right atmosphere, this will bring a lot of compliments to you. However, I don't think this is well suited for young teen out there. This, I think, is good for ages of 30 and above. And if you're applying it in a corporate environment as well, I don't think this is an offensive perfume. So anybody around you, even though they will be able to notice you because of the beast mode projection, it won't be something that will piss them off or make them uncomfortable or choke them up. So that's one of the best thing about Fatan. Now, in terms of the entire longevity, 6 to 7 hours easily on the clothes. There have been occasions where I have smelled or I have notice the smell of Fatan the next day from the clothes. I think in a very hot summery day, the performance of Fatan kind of tends to get a bit lower than usual, maybe 5 hours to 6 hours max it stays, and then it kind of vanishes off, because I think the molecules are made in such a way that during very hot and humid weather, all of the perfumes that I have mentioned kind of disappears faster. So that applies to Fatan as well. So instead of that 7-hour mark, this comes down to 5 hours, and the rest you can minus 1 to 1.5 hours from them as well. If you're applying it on a very hot, humid, sticky weather, then in that case that happens. Now I'm gonna break down and give you a small note as to what I have discussed so far in the video, because I have put them up over here. So Terre D'Hermès, it's a citrusy opening with a woody depth. We have already talked about it. Now with Wow Signs, it's similar in the top notes, lacks the complexity in the middle and the base notes. Now with Wildstone Code Terra, it matches the top note, adds Oakmoss and Musk at the base to create a bit more depth. Now with Arabian Aromas inspired version of Terre D'Hermès, they have closely resembled Terre D'Hermès with the similar notes of Terre D'Hermès notes throughout. With Toro Porom, it's similar to that, identical structure, again similar to Terre D'Hermès. And with Fatan, there's a different top note, bit more citrusy, a bit more floral at the mid, and a bit less woody than Terre D'Hermès at the base, but kind of holds on to its own. Now in terms of pricing, let me pull that up as well. If we are considering about the 100 milliliter, Terre D'Hermès is available for around 1600 if you're considering a 100 milliliter option. I mean, I have checked Nika, it's available for a 50 milliliter bottle for around 8,000 rupees. Now with Wow Signs, the 100 milliliter costs 750 rupees. With Wildstone Code Terra, the 100 milliliter costs around 650 rupees. Arabian Aromas inspired version, 100 milliliter would cost around 1400, considering that they sell 50 milliliter for 700. Toro Porom, again 1400 for 100 milliliter, and Fatan around 2800 for 100 milliliter. So the final conclusion comes down to which one is awesome for you, or which one you should go for if you're buying just one perfume out there which kind of mimics the Terre D'Hermès clone. In my opinion, you can go, I mean, I will give you 3 options. If you want something in the range of Terre D'Hermès but holds on to its own beast mode, all-weather perfume, and you have no problem with the budget, Fatan is the blend you should go for. It is different by 10-20%, but it's a great blend. I mean, the quality is awesome. Now if you want to go for a more budget oriented option for Terre D'Hermès clone, you can either go with the Arabian Aromas inspired version of Terre D'Hermès, or you can go with Maison Alhamra's Toro, because both are kind of available for the 1400 mark for 100 milliliter. Both are equally good in terms of the smell structure, both are equally good in terms of the longevity, both are equally good in projection. However, this kind of projects a bit more louder than Toro. However, Toro seems more appropriate if you're applying it in the evening, while Arabian Aromas Terre D'Hermès inspired version seems more appropriate if you're applying it in the day. However, the difference is very minute and subtle, but if I have to nitpick, I would have done the same. If you are trying to go for Terra or Gulmarg Mist by any chance, because you think that they are more budget option, if you're really hard pressed on the budget, then and only then go for this one, because you might get disappointed by the performance of these 2 perfumes. So that's pretty much it in terms of the explanation of the video. One more request that I would like to do over here. I am opening up an Instagram channel where whatever I'm discussing, I will try and create graphical representation of the entire video in a short and concise way, so that it's easier for you to refer back if you need to. We'll add the link of the Instagram channel into the description as well as in the video somewhere, so that you can go ahead and check it out. I would be very, very, very honored if you can go ahead and follow me in Instagram as well. And you can DM me over there if you have specific questions, or if you want me to create a review on a very specific perfume, you can do the same in Instagram, because I think YouTube is okay, but I should also go ahead and create accounts in other social media platforms as well. So that's pretty much it for today's video. If you have liked the content, do hit the subscribe button. and keep me motivated, and also do share your feedbacks and opinions into the comment section. I would love to read them and respond to them. So this is Deep signing off, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.